David, I'm super glad that you're here today. You and I go back a lot of years where you, as an entrepreneur, are creating an incredible stroller company and using the nonprofit world to be able to help change human trafficking and how that shows up in the country as such a problem. Dave, if you will, just share with us a little bit, maybe how you got involved with this and where do you see this going?
Thanks, Chad. Hey, it's an honor to be on here. I've been in baby products for 35 years now. I got recruited at a church softball game of all things, and ended up being the director of global sales for Coe, which was at the time we were one of the largest in the world. President of Baby Trend. I've helped start 2 car seat companies and partnerships, and now I'm launching this stroller company, which just kind of was one of these COVID inventions, so to speak. I was walking around Balboa Island and seeing this other competitor stroller, strolling around. I wasn't familiar with it because I kind of stepped away from the industry for a couple of years. And so I started asking people, what do you like about it? And I got my friend said it was the best. I said, what do you dislike? And I got, well, the lower seat's too small. And they tell you to put your bigger kid in there. The attachment where you connect the seats is wobbly. It's too wide. It's too heavy. When you fold it, there's no handle. So I said, oh, cool. I can reinvent this stroller. So I took that stroller, which was an $1,100 stroller, made contact with my contacts in China. I said, hey, look, I want to redesign that stroller and I want to make it better. And my engineer there said, hey, great. The guy that engineered that stroller happens to be now an independent designer, so you can hire him. So I did, paid $25,000, had him sit and design a stroller. And we got one made in a prototype. If you go to our website, you'll see that stroller that's pictured is actually a stroller made from 3D printed plastic parts. So we were able to take that stroller, go out and survey 40 moms, and said, hey, I went right after that competition. I won't mention them, but went right after them and said, hey, if you were able to get this stroller where I solve these problems, would you buy it? They said, well, how much is yours? And I said, $650. They went, oh my gosh, if it would have been available, I would have bought one. And then I threw in there on a last note, hey, and we're donating 10% of all sales to victims of human trafficking. And Chad, they literally jumped out of their seats if they were sitting and said, how do I buy one now? So it told me they were willing to pitch an $1,100 stroller aside to get a better product to help the cause of human trafficking. So, it was just one of those things that came on my heart. I'm a Christian. I kind of felt God was tugging at me to say, do this for others. I literally turned the TV on and saw, questioning God, what do you want me to do with this thing? And turned the TV on and saw 37 girls that were being rescued in Atlanta, Georgia, and their ages were 13 to 9 years old. Well, my 2 eldest granddaughters at the time were 13 and 9. And I said, okay, I got it. So we're going to do that. The highlights and the brushstrokes of this, of how we're able to do it, is because of my sourcing in China, my experience there. I'm producing 70 points of gross margin. So when our net margin after operating cost is in 38 to 39%. So I'm able to do that. And that's after donating 10% of sales. So
hold on, David. I like the idea that you have good margins, but as you're kind of going through this, maybe people could also follow along. The website is 4 humanitybaby.com.
Right.
4 humanitybaby.com. So as you're building out this stroller and you have nice margins, and we're talking to a lot of entrepreneurs here today, how did you get such nice margins in the stroller space?
Well, it came down to design and who you know, right? So again, I designed it to be sleek. I designed it to, if you're molding, you understand that when you mold a plastic part, for instance, this part on the side of the stroller here, if you mold them one by one, it's a fortune. But if you take a large cavity mold and you make 10 of those in one press, you're dropping your cost by 10%. So everything we did was to maximize mold capacity in order to minimize cost. And so every time that machine cycles, it's producing enough for 10 strollers. So that's kind of the efficiencies of it and getting into brushstroke. But the number 4, by the way, is because I have 4 sons and 11 grandkids. So 4 sons, 4 humanity. It was kind of a play on words for me.
I like that. And I also like the idea that you're just a disciplined human being. I believe that you played pro ball when you were younger, and I believe maybe your son is also playing pro ball.
Yeah, so I played baseball at Cal Poly Pomona, where we won 2 national championships when I was there. Was fortunate enough to play a couple of years of minor league ball. My youngest son, Brent, he played at Oklahoma State and then transferred to Oral Roberts University, and then he played a year for the Marlins before COVID came in and they reorganized minor league baseball. And he said, "I'm done. I want to have he was married. He says, I want to start a family."
All right.
So, but yeah, he was an amazing, much better baseball player than I ever was. So,
Well, it's always good that the kids could be better than the parents. And
absolutely.
as you take that discipline and you're now working, on this stroller business and really working on the trafficking, share with us today, like how does someone go and are we able to buy these strollers now, or do we have to still wait? What are your thoughts around that?
Yeah, so we've completed all of our tooling. This one that you have here, and if we have time, I'll demonstrate how it converts from a single to a double, but and then a triple. But we've completed all the tooling, so all that's paid for, and we're ready to launch. We unfortunately had an investor with us who hit some hard times. His wife was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, and he and his brother were sued. And he said, "Look, I just got to pull back," and I appreciated his position and his honesty. So we're raising our final round of capital. We're raising $1.5 million to get this thing launched, and within 90 days of receipt, we can be at market. So we're ready to rock and roll. We're going to do some tweaking of our website. If you go on there, it could use a little sprucing up to convey the story of how this product morphs. But we're not just a stroller company. We have the ability we have a car seat that we are now in development of that is a 35-pound, means a 35-pound child infant seat can go in there, which is highly recommended, and it only weighs 7 pounds. So it's the lightest weight 35-pound infant car seat on the market. It will attach to our stroller. It will attach to a base in the car, and then we have a surprise coming later where it'll attach to some things inside the house that'll keep that child in motion and just at peace. So you're not having to wake the child up every time you transfer them from car to stroller to house to whatever. So we've got a whole plethora of other products that we're in development and we'll launch those shortly after the stroller. But the stroller is the marquee.
I do love it though, as I see people taking the kids out of their cars today. So many differences than 20 years ago when I had kids, where it was always a struggle. The strollers were twice the size. The car seats weren't easy to get in and out, so you're moving the child around. And today, I think they've just made it really easy to be able to move your kids around while using the car seat, the strollers, and some other accessories that are out there. I find
Yeah.
that to be pretty cool.
Yeah, we'll be the first completely modular company that takes the seat from car, stroller into the house for various different uses. Nobody else has done that yet. We also have a jogging stroller platform. So those that are really active, they can start with this stroller and then transfer the seat over to a jogging stroller platform, which is pneumatic wheels and larger. And so we're making it all integrated so everything is modular, connects together, and can be used in various different fashions.
So, as a grinding entrepreneur, someone that's trying to build and has put your heart and soul into this, I know that it's coming together really nicely. And you're on LinkedIn, and people can reach out to you. I put your email address on here so that people could find you as well to be able to make that easy. So feel free to reach out to David. And over at Coe Financial Group, where we help people with planning for their retirement, helping them with their investments, look at their risk tolerance. I've been passionate, like you as an entrepreneur, about helping people get to the finish line so their money can outlive them, right? And to be able to live in dignity. I also find, David, a lot of people don't live in the world of abundance. They have scarcity. They're afraid. And so what I try to do is I try to help them encourage to think bigger and think abundant. So you know about this as I put out my books, whether it's The Power of Peopletizing, which is how we met through networking, or having the confidence through the Unlimited Confidence or the Confident Leader to be able to ask for what you want. And then the Auctioneer's Apprentice. We're constantly taking the foot off the brake to be able to get where we want to go. And I love you being here today to be able to share with people that if you grind hard enough and if you wake up every day and push, that the answers will show up, the opportunities will show up, and we will win. And as I look at your website, at the different things that you have on here, I just love the idea that you were able to put, the trafficking in to be able to help those people that are being trafficked, while selling strollers. And as we have these new babies, we give them a safe place to be able to be and make it really easy on the parents.
Absolutely. And Chad, I appreciate you and our numerous conversations over the few years, because I was thinking on a much smaller scale when we first started talking, and you've helped me to look at this thing as a bigger opportunity. And baby products is kind of the start, but by adding a tab to each one of our, in our website, we can add tabs. We could be kids shoes, we could be kids clothing, we could go on to active wear for the adult, for the mom. Once you have a database of clients, it's easy to market consumer products to them. And that's something that you helped me to look at, to say, hey, look, this could be a much broader scale thing than just baby products. It could be any consumer product, and each one of those donating back to special causes such as St. Jude's Children's Hospital, Children's Diabetes Foundation, cancer, whatever it may be. We want to make the world better through products for humanity, which is how I named the company. Is really about doing things to give back and help humanity.
So on that note, I want everyone to start thinking bigger, have some fun, watch these 10-minute kind of interviews with entrepreneurs and business people, and let's just see where it goes. But stay strong, stay positive, stay abundant. You can reach David at davidw@productsforhumanity.com. Feel free to reach out to me and connect. I have over 16,000 connections. I'm happy to help you with your connections and help you become a bigger thinker. Just reach out. Let's have some fun. And David, thank you so much for being part of this morning.
Thank you, Chad. I appreciate it.
You bet. Take care.